Member Cottrell,
Here.
Member Kerouac,
Here.
Member Stratoff,
Here.
Member Wicks,
Here.
and Chair Hunter.
Here.
And members Deegan and Dahlman are absent, so we have a quorum of 5.
Okay, the minutes from June 4th. Any comments, corrections, whatever, from anybody?
No? I move to approve as submitted.
Okay, second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second from Art. All in favor, right? We won't call this anymore.
Yep, just all in favor.
All in
is fine.
favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, good. Moving on. Okay, the next part is for any non-agenda items, visitors either in the audience or in, online to make a comment if they'd like something to address us. Well, I sound like Trump. Anybody? Anybody out there?
I think we only have applicants, as far as I know. No one's hitting the raise their hand to speak on a non-agenda item, so I think, I don't
Okay.
think we have anybody.
Then we'll jump right into it. So the first item is a sign permit for reading one-to-one at 100 East Scranton.
Okay, yeah, Janet Nagel, our applicant, is connected by Zoom. Janet, I've promoted you to panelist so you can speak to us if you'd like to tell us about your sign there or share.
Oh, certainly. Yeah. Any questions? You have the rendering in front of you. The board has the rendering.
Yeah,
So if there's
they
any
do.
questions, please feel free to speak up.
Sue, I'm going to start with you.
Sure. I actually did not have any questions, although I was wondering, is it centered on that chimney piece there? And does it just look not centered because of the photo in the corner?
Yeah, it is.
It's
It's
centered.
always been where it was.
Okay. I think
Yes,
it's
right.
centered.
it's centered. I think it's the perspective from that camera shot, but it
Okay.
is centered. Yeah, that sign was existing, and I believe it's centered on a chimney.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it looks really good.
Thank you. I think the new landscaping helped quite a bit as well.
Oh, I was going to ask about that. Is the landscaping that's shown in the picture not there anymore? Is there different landscaping?
There is an upgrade to the landscaping. I think the original picture you have that I made copies of 3 or 4 weeks ago, it looks better. So if you walk by today, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised by how it looks.
Oh, that's so good, because I thought it looked a little scraggly, but I didn't know that was anything I should really comment on. You know what I mean? But it looks, if it looks better than that, that's awesome.
Yes, it does.
Scott?
I think it looks beautiful. I have no objection. Looks nice.
Matt?
No, I have no, the sign looks great. Are you going to be coming in for any other signage, like on a door or hours or anything? Or is this your only sign for the business?
This is my only sign for the business. I don't think I'm going to have anything on the door at this time.
Okay, great. Yeah, looks great.
Thank you.
I think it's fine.
Okay, well, I think it's fine too, so, somebody needs to make a motion on how fine it is.
That's wonderful news. Thank you.
I move to approve the sign as submitted.
Second.
Roll call.
Okay. Member Wicks,
Aye.
Member Stratoff,
Aye.
Member Kerouac,
Aye.
Member Cottrell,
Aye.
and Chair Hunter.
Aye,
Okay, motion passes
all
5
right,
to 0.
moving right along.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank
Much
you.
appreciated.
Good luck with it.
You're welcome.
Okay, next is a sign for, however you say it, Fresenius?
Fresenius.
Fresenius.
So I think Karen Dodd, the representative for the sign company, is on the Zoom, and then we have some Fresenius here in the audience too. So who would like to start? Karen, are you starting to tell us about it?
I can.
Okay, go ahead. Sure, come up to the lectern, to the microphone. Yep.
I work for Fresenius, so.
Okay.
I just happened to be available to come tonight.
That's great.
This is our call center for one of our centers, but we are currently having a little interior remodel done. Our CEO from Germany is building out an office, and she will be having a lot of international visitors when she is in our home here in Lake Bluff. And that's the reason why we wanted the sign, is because we're gonna have a lot, normally it's just employees that are there, but now we're gonna be having a lot of visitors and stuff coming when Helen is in the States, and so we want to be able to identify that.
Art, do you have any questions?
No, I think it's okay. I somehow, against the red brick and so forth, I don't know, are the colors really all that good a choice? But beyond that, I have no,
Okay. So your question, Nick? Matt?
The only thing is, just with I don't know if moving the right edge of the sign to line up with the little header detail. I know it's kind of centered over the door, it looks like.
Yes, that's what was the
So
plan.
it seems like I'm one or the other, I'm not one or the, but I see there's two options here. One is you center over the door, the other is you kind of move it so that's kind of in line with that little 8x8 header detail. I think no one else is going to notice that but us, but I think the sign itself is fine. And if there's a conversation on its location, that would just be my kind of observation on that. But for right now, I'm fine with it. Thank you.
Scott?
Yeah, I would agree, or maybe just shrink it so it's the same width as the door.
Yeah.
It's pretty wide, 3 feet by 11 feet, seems pretty large, but other than that, I think it looks perfectly fine.
I had some questions. So I drove around there and I had a couple questions. One was, I know this is on the back side sort of the building.
Yes.
But the whole building looks like it doesn't have any signage.
There's one.
Except for the one.
Right, and that's on the same, and we tried to mimic what the dentist office had, or very
Right.
similar, so it wouldn't stand out as being very different. The landlord did provide that information to me so that I could
Yeah.
balance
So
it.
I took a picture of the dentist sign.
Okay.
And so a couple things. One was so on the other side of the building, it's a really big complex and there's no signs and it does look nice. And so I'm wondering how we deal with this. Do we sort of say, okay, this is the back of the building and it's okay to have signs there because it's the back of the building and you can sort of see this from when you're driving?
Right.
But then we don't necessarily allow signs on the front because the front, if you have all these different signs, is not gonna look great. So it almost seems like, or do we say we wanna come up with a design, I don't know what the correct word is, but like design parameters?
Tenant sign criteria?
Yes,
Yeah,
for
the
all of
building.
the signs, like they kind of do at a mall, because I think if we have everybody putting up all different colors and sizes and all of this, it's just really
I
not
agree,
gonna look
and that's why we tried to be similar to what the dentist put up, but also so you guys know, we actually have 3 lease spaces in this building. We have an in-center dialysis, we have a laboratory, and we also have our call center. So we take up like 3/4 of that building. And so really only requesting the sign where her office is gonna be
Right.
located, because we're not interested in putting up any other signs
Yeah.
in the other suites. And so,
I don't think I was thinking necessarily about you guys necessarily, but
general?
just sort of in general.
right,
I feel like, is this like a kind of one of those can of worm things? And then also, I know that you guys were trying to mimic the sign, but when you're there, it really looks very different from the sign that's there, because the one that's there is very, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's very square, sort of, and then next to it with this one, really would look fairly different. I mean, they both would have a white background, but I'm almost wondering if we do it, is there a way to do that proportion of sign? And maybe like.
You want it more stacked?
Like stack your words and do it so it's really almost
Well,
exact?
this is our trademark logo.
And you don't ever stack your letters?
That is stacked for us.
Oh, okay. It's like you would, you know how they've got Forest, North Dental, you would never do
We wouldn't do it on three
medical,
lines
you wouldn't do
normally.
center under.
No, not normally. And I would, honestly, this is my CEO of
Yeah.
my international company. I
Should be like, why
prob-
is that stacked?
Yeah, the options that I have are that layout, or I can do it all on one line, but then that would make the sign
That's
even
even
longer.
more that way.
Yeah,
Or
that's our brand standard.
Okay. Or do we just do, like, shrink it and do it in the same proportion? You know what I mean? And maybe do it more toward the bottom of the sign, or,
I could make it taller, but then you have more white
Right.
space.
yeah.
If you wanted it more square,
Well,
then,
I don't know, but I just was there looking at this, and then I was looking at this, and I was thinking, those look very different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even I don't know. I'm just bringing it
Well,
up.
Sue,
Because it just seems
When we
like,
did the dentist sign, we had this discussion,
yeah,
and, about how that was pretty foreign to the building.
right.
And I think this is the only other entrance on your side.
I think so.
There-
I
There's the
can't
dentist and you.
Yeah.
But I think your comment about if for some reason you folks elected to move the building, then maybe, I don't know if we can put some criteria on the rest of the building. And, we knew we were sort of setting this precedent
Right.
on the other one.
And you kind of feel like it's on the back side, maybe it's okay, but I can't, when you drive in and if you see the whole expanse and you imagine over every door,
Yeah.
a different size sign and all that, it would just really not.
Yeah, and I think we should try and figure out how to kind of protect the rest of the other 3 or 6 sides, however many sides there are
Yeah.
on that building.
So here's the
But that
other,
really isn't this sign.
Yeah.
here's the other sign. It looks more like that size and
Yeah.
shape. And then you have this. I don't know, you know what I mean?
And where is that in relation to,
It's on,
It's just right here.
oh, okay.
So it's like this column is this column, I believe.
Okay.
Or it might be this one. Where's the
yeah,
tree?
I always struggle with forcing companies to change their logo, what
Right.
their branding is to
Right.
fit someone else's, especially a larger company.
Right.
Having, it's like making Ford,
Right.
shift to my logo,
Right.
So
So I know you couldn't stack, but is there something we should do like with the general size of the sign? So
I
it's
think
like
what
the same,
Scott mentioned, I'm going to jump in. Did you make your comments yet?
yeah, but the one thing that I would say, so I made the comment about the sign shifting a little bit, but what if we just centered the sign over the bay instead of at the door? That sign, the positioning just seems, like if I'm just laying this building out,
or could it be like,
centering it just over, I know you have it over the entry.
Yeah, we can adjust it,
I was just throwing it out there. I think it feels
I think that
off
would-
to the side.
back, but, or could it just be like, could you do something like this? What is it? It's 2 words, like where the sign itself is sort of the same. And maybe you just do, you know what I mean?
Whoa.
Up to the microphone.
Sorry about that. Where it's like the same, can you see where it's like the same dimension, but you just have it the same way, but
I
maybe,
want to say theirs is a 4-foot tall by 8-foot
Do you see
wide
what I'm
sign.
saying?
Yeah.
I believe is what they had,
you know?
and it's square.
Right,
because
well,
of-
it's rectangular.
Well, yeah, more square than ours. Ours
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, and like, do you just do that, or maybe do a border, like,
We could do a thicker border. We're showing a border on this. I mean, I can,
like, here's your thing, and you got your words, and maybe you do like some sort of a border or something, I don't know. I mean, or we just don't care, but I just think it's definitely gonna look different. I mean, I don't know how hard do we go on signs on the sort of backish of the building?
Where does the adjacent sign fit relative?
Down here.
It's just one
Right, no,
door
no, what I
down.
meant was, I thought the The idea of actually centering it on this element was a good idea.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah,
I wondered how the other sign,
the other sign's more over the door.
But do you have the layout, the site plan
Yeah,
layout?
uh-huh.
Okay, because that'll show you, the Forest Dental is just one spot over from us,
Yeah,
to the right.
And their sign is toward the left side of their space because the door is to
The
the
door
left
is
side
on the
of their
left,
space.
left corner of the
Yeah.
space, right.
And I did notice you were
Saying
gonna,
center it over this.
no, centering it just in the bay, like just centering over this.
Oh, okay.
Like if I was laying out, I would just center it.
Yeah.
It just feels better.
and
What about centering it over this, since this walkway is like,
but currently, there's only a single
Yeah.
door, right?
There is only a single door. They're making it a double door, and they're taking out, there's a little knee wall
That's going away.
landscaping. That's going away, and they're making it a double door.
Is that something we need to approve, or is that just happening?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
not us.
All right, so,
Yeah, the architects already
doing
did all,
that.
they already
Yeah.
did that, because they had to do an interior build-out, too.
well, I don't know. That's all my point is. I don't know for me if it matters if it's centered or not centered. I just think the proportion and the sign looks so different. Is it the same kind of sign?
Yeah, they're both non-lit. They're both non-lit signs, and what we did was to give it a little dimension, we're gonna mount, quarter-inch, flat cutout letters on top of it, just to give it a little
low
depth.
relief.
And I think they just have vinyl on theirs.
Yeah.
So we wanted a little bit nicer looking sign.
And will it be as thick as the one that's here? The same sort of,
I think it's about a quarter-inch, what do we show? The cabinet is,
I don't know.
I have to
I'm
look,
just-
I didn't bring my glasses.
Cabinet's an inch and the sign is 3/4.
Yeah, the letters, yep. So it'll have a little depth to it, and that's similar to what the dentist office is.
It's also just much longer, right?
Yeah, I think theirs is 4 foot high by 8 feet wide. And ours is 3 by 11. Just because our logo is,
Yeah.
Do we have a picture of the other one? I mean, we should at least line up.
Who has one?
Susan, Sue brought it. You saw it? Yeah.
So you wouldn't necessarily line up the top or the bottom.
Well, that's, it feels like it's just not related in any way. It's just like a
Yep.
completely different proportion, different construction, different kind of lettering, different
Three off the bottom.
dimensions. I don't know.
But we have that like all the, even like where Heinen's is.
Right.
All those are their own world.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's great, but
Yeah.
it's just, that's, I have a hard time forcing a company to change their,
We
Well, I
can't.
don't think they should change their
We just
stacking or
can't.
anything.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Move
I-
this anymore, I'll
Wait,
pass
to
it
be
back.
clear,
Yeah,
I
no.
do not think that we should have them change their stacking or their logo or
Yeah.
anything. I'm just wondering, should we try to make the overall shape and size the same and work your magic inside that?
Yeah, but I think you're
dimension?
throwing, then you're gonna have this big white background
yeah, you'll have a
with
lot
these
more
little,
of
which
white
feels,
Yeah,
white
their door
space
is
Yeah.
right
to do
like
that.
this.
So a lot of places
'Cause
don't
I
like
go
that
there.
either, so.
Yeah.
Their sign is right here.
You know,
And the
we can
door is
do,
like
we
this.
can,
It's the
we
door
can
on the
modify,
side.
that's not that's not a
Right.
problem. I will say, we're trying to get this done for October, because she's coming and we have
I get the pressure.
huge-
Yeah.
a huge meeting happening in there,
Yeah.
so if we have to come back, it will obviously not be ready
Yeah.
for that
Well,
timeframe.
It's not something I feel like I need to follow my sword about. I'm just thinking, like, I'm imagining this building and then the front of it and all of this happening. And I just think
Yeah.
it's a nice medical office. And I think when signage starts to get all over, it
I agree.
doesn't look as classy.
Right.
You
That's
know,
one
so
way to do
that's
it.
my only,
And
Yep,
you-
and
but you
that's
say
why we
make
tried
the-
to mimic
yeah.
I mean,
in our
that would
own,
be
you know,
a foot
to
bigger.
keep these dimensions.
no, what I was kind of thinking.
Very similar to what they had, and we
Either
didn't,
lining this up.
ask for like illuminated signage or
Yeah.
anything
Yeah, I
like that,
think-
because that would
I
be
would center it, I
overkill
mean,
to
Yeah.
what this is, and
Yeah.
Well,
this
that's
is
kinda
just
what they
really
have.
because
If you
when you
line this
pull
up, it's
in, I
almost
know,
over this.
because we've got the pharmacy,
Well,
we've
the
got the
diagonal is bigger.
dialysis center, and
Yeah.
we want to be able to
Yeah.
get
Right
the
there.
folks that are
This is-
coming for
Seems like this is
meetings
such a
That's
problem.
what I'm feeling.
and
Like,
just
it's just
follow
one-
to the
I mean,
building
it's such
sign,
a
we can
strong
explain that to
center
them.
point.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to put,
Yeah,
we don't want
Sue?
to put signs up on the other
Sue?
facilities because.
Can we see your photo
Can we
again?
see your vacation photos again?
Okay, that's the other place, hold on. Okay, it's just a little, yeah, well, there's two. There's this one where you're sort of backed up from it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then this is the whole expanse.
Yeah.
Where is this is, I'll blow it up.
Thanks for taking pictures, too.
Right, so that's the same in relative, it's the vertical.
Yeah, yeah, this is just a lot, so that's like 3 courses up and maybe 2.5 down, which would
Maybe you
make this a
get-
lot
I mean, you
bigger.
don't need to come back, but I'm just thinking like, is there some way that we want to, going forward, make it a uniform thing? You know what I mean? Or like, maybe it's wider and you do
Well,
this in the dark blue and then above it, you do it in a
If they enlarge.
shadow or a lighter color, or, you know what I mean, and it repeats, or I don't know, there's, I mean.
Well, she said they can't change that, that's their international.
I still,
Yeah.
because they each have their very specific logos.
No, I don't mean
Yeah,
ginger.
no, I know, but even the proportions, but yeah.
No, I guess we can't regulate signs in Germany.
No,
I mean, and they fall into, like, there's no variances here, right? So everything complies,
Right, yeah.
yeah,
so,
yeah. So to me, it looks like we've got 2 choices. We either take the sign as it is and center it in the whole bay
Yeah.
over the windows, or we reduce it down and maybe so that it's either centered over the door or over the block course on those joints over the door. And maybe, I don't know if you can change the proportion so that you have a little bit
Taller?
higher, just make a little more white on the bottom, maybe not as much as the other one.
Yeah,
Or-
it just-
'cause it's,
it
otherwise
also
you're adding a whole
very
foot to
tight
it.
in that as well, so I don't know.
So what does anybody think?
so is this like, do you have other buildings around the world or other
We have,
places?
we have 2,600 dialysis clinics.
There you go. And do you have this signage other places?
Everywhere.
And it's this,
But it's
for-
usually, these are the standards.
Yeah.
So there's like a math calculation.
No, I get
for-
that, right.
Yeah,
For
so the
sure.
logo to the letter set,
Yep.
it's whatever the height of the letter is, times 3.25
Yeah.
is the height of the, so there's, and that's my only job with Fresenius. I have 190 projects on my desk.
For sure,
So
yeah.
signage is all I do for them in
Yeah.
North America.
yeah.
And do you always crop it this tight to it? You know what I mean?
I think they were trying to stay within a certain, the sign vendors do this for us.
Yeah.
So these are our standard proportions and our standard colors. I actually asked them to put the border around it because I didn't want it to look just white and
Yeah,
plain and
which
give
is
it
nice.
a little bit of
Yep.
style, if you will. Normally, we put channel letters up on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And given this building is very, laid quite back, we didn't want to propose something overkill. We didn't want to run power on that. We just wanted something a little bit more understated. But yes, this is the layout that we would do. This is what our monument signs look like, our pylon signs, door vinyl,
Yeah,
everything we do. So again, sometimes it's a linear layout, so it's logo and then Fresenius Kidney Cares or medical care. Either
Yeah.
one is spelled out
All
all
the
on
way
one
across.
line.
Yeah.
It just depends on the space of the building that we're going on to. Sometimes we have more space linear
Right,
than we do
yeah.
height-wise.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. What?
Sandy Wicks.
Okay, thanks.
This shouldn't be that hard. Actually, it is that hard.
Well, should we at least agree on what, so I think there's 2 issues, right? The location of the sign and then the proportions of the sign.
I think if you were to move it, the proportion of the sign would probably fine.
Yeah.
Or it would be, yeah. One, two,
I would like to see it centered over that brick, the 8x8 courses, whatever that.
yeah, I would say that's probably the best. The other sign, which is more square, is centered on the wall. you can't move this thing up or down.
Yeah.
Of course, is to line something top or bottom up.
Yeah,
So this would also be centered on the wall,
Vertically, you're talking about.
yeah.
vertically, right, yeah. Yeah.
The only thing I would observe is if the dental sign is centered on their door. So if we center this on the, coursing, that's kind of gonna, it's gonna be a departure from what's there.
I think Bob was talking about centering it vertically, and you're thinking of horizontally?
That's what I understood.
Yeah, I'm
I'm talking about both directions.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's centered, this is 6 feet apparently, this dimension here is 6 feet, the brick.
Moving it to the left.
And so if you move it to the west so that it's centered
On that.
over
That's
that,
what I,
that
Centered
block-
over the window bank, window
yeah,
door
like
bank?
that whole, the whole
Yeah,
entry
That's
system,
saying
yeah.
both, okay.
That would be my
I like that idea.
recommendation.
yeah, I could live with that. I mean, we can't really make the sign match the other one, and it's like, who came there first? It
Yeah.
doesn't matter, nobody knows.
Yeah, especially when it's a big conglomerate versus, I
Yeah.
just,
I mean, the only other solution would
ethically.
be to do a ground sign out of it, but that's probably a
no.
different ballgame.
yeah, and I don't know, that's
Yeah.
probably worse.
I actually think that'd be better, but
Yeah, I just don't,
would you go for ground sign?
In front of the building,
Yeah.
in front of the space? We'd probably have to pull the landscaping out.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough room.
Yeah, and then you can't see it from, like if you have a car parked there.
Yeah, that's true. There is multi-tenant signs with directionals at this property already,
Yeah.
so we have that
Yeah.
already there.
Yeah.
So that's why we weren't adding anything.
Is this the same call center that was there before?
Yes. Yeah, we're just taking out a couple of offices and making a very large conference room with all the media and stuff like that. And then building, I think we're taking 2 other offices and making our CEO's corporate office there.
I don't remember seeing them, but however many years ago, there was so much stress by the people in there that there were 2 smoking pavilions on either side of the, are they still there?
I'm not 100% sure, but I have heard that there was a lot of
They
issues
almost-
with
they
the
al-
whole smoking thing, and there was,
Yeah, they almost
the
look
landlord
like,
told me that there was
bus-
a whole
bus
bunch of
stops.
stuff going on there.
So great.
So I'm based in Arizona, and
Yeah.
I work remote, so I just happened to be in Milwaukee for a wedding coming up, and
look
so
at
I
that.
was able to make this meeting
Welcome to
in
Lake Bluff.
person. Yeah, so I did hear that. The landlord said that there was a lot of challenges with people going outside to smoke, and,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a very stressful job.
yeah, well, they work as hard.
Okay, let's.
we're gonna need a smoking area here.
Let's let him go back to Milwaukee here, so we can,
Well, do we want one more round of discussions, or are we good with centering it
I'm
in the
fine-
bay?
Yeah, I'm fine with any placement, and I'm not willing to fall on the sword for this particular thing. I
Yeah.
still think it would look better if they were similar, but it's okay. I mean, it's not like it's life or death.
Okay.
Given the choice, would you rather center that size sign in the whole bay or shrink it down and just?
Center it.
Okay. No
Yeah,
shrinking.
I personally, I think that would look better too.
Okay. Just curious.
this is not a patient,
Correct. This is a call center.
Yeah.
Right.
This lease space, we have 3
Yeah.
in the building. For this particular lease space, this is just a call center, and it will be our CEO's
Yeah.
North American office.
So,
And the other properties, they just have the door vinyl, or
Yeah.
the window vinyl that's allowed.
So this is more like a badge of honor for the building, or more
Well,
directional?
it's just more for when we have, when she's here.
Right, right.
Then the people can find, because
Right.
she's gonna have people traveling and
Sure,
coming in,
yep,
and I mean,
makes
they're
sense.
building lockers for luggage and, you
Yeah.
know, all that kind of stuff, so people can come right from the airport
Yeah,
and come for meetings and then probably, you know,
Yep,
fly out
great.
or whatever they're gonna do, so. It's really just so we can get these international travelers.
yeah.
And she's our CEO.
That's what I'm saying,
So I wanna
yeah,
give her
it's
a
a-
little bit of recognition.
That's what I'm saying,
But
yeah,
aside
it's-
from that, we're not trying to,
Yeah,
you know, put a big, beautiful billboard kind of sign up.
yeah,
Just,
great.
okay.
So I move to approve the sign as designed, but location to be revised to center over the, this end bay. Unless there's a better way of saying that.
So over, so I'm clear. So
Probably between the
centered
round,
Yep,
between
yeah.
these, the white.
Right,
horse-
the
white
columns or
horse?
the
Yes,
white
okay.
courses. Yeah.
I'm good with that.
you okay with that?
Like that.
I'm fine with it, yeah.
I'm fine.
Okay, shoo,
I am.
okay.
Okay. You made a motion with that?
I did.
Anybody second it?
Second.
I'm not fine enough to second it, but I am fine with it.
Okay, roll call.
Okay. Member Cottrell,
Aye.
Member Kerouac,
Aye.
Member Stradiff,
Aye.
Member Wicks,
Aye.
and Chair Hunter.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
Okay. Do you want revised renderings from us?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay,
Yeah, you
just
can
email
to
them
me.
in?
Yeah.
Okay,
that's fine.
awesome. Thank you,
Yep.
everybody.
But
Thank
you don't
you.
have to come back from Arizona, no.
Yeah. It is cooler here though right now, that's for sure.
Much nicer here. I think when I left, it was 116.
Oh, my.
This is much nicer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
okay, next is the sign and dumpster enclosure for Douglas Masonry. Am I right?
Yep.
Yep, okay.
David Douglas, come on up to the podium and tell us about your application.
We're just, I guess, trying to put a solid fence screening around our dumpster and recycling in the corner of our lot. Is this the sign?
Yeah, it's both the sign.
Oh,
and
both the
dumpster
sign,
screening
okay,
fence.
all right, okay. The sign, those are pictures of the installed sign. We have one on the south face and one on the west face of the building.
I have a picture.
This is
Yeah.
being proposed,
It's already up.
Yeah.
so what's the request?
You knew you're supposed to come before you put it.
I mean, lots of things. I just leased the space, 18 months ago, so I'm kinda.
Yeah.
Any comments from anybody?
Well, of course, I have comments. My first comment is, I really do like your logo. It looks good. I would say, and I don't, again, think it's anything earth-shattering, although you are the entryway, let's call it like the, I don't know what, to Lake Bluff coming in this way. So it's a big honor. And I would say the two signs that you have on the building, if they weren't already up, I would say it'd be great to have them at the same height. The one on this side, I don't know what side this is higher than
Okay.
the one on this side, and I don't know how hard that is to move, or if it's
I don't know if it's a big,
not
I think it's certainly possible.
possible. Yeah, if you could, I think I would propose if you could just line those up, the top
Which,
of them.
which one do you like?
I don't know if I have an opinion, I think either one. Either lower the one that's
Well, I
on,
kinda like the west side of the building,
which one is it this?
yeah,
Yeah,
because that looks proportional between the top of the
Yeah,
building and
I
that,
agree.
so I guess I would lower
lower that one a bit.
that one a little bit.
It's not egregious, honestly, so.
Yeah, I mean,
But if you were just starting from scratch, I would
if I
just
was
put
starting
them
from
up.
scratch, I mean, okay, so I like the west sign where it is.
Yeah.
That was intentional. The south sign,
Kind of just up there.
my guys kind of just put it up there. So if you would want it centered over the door like the other one,
Yeah, I don't
same, so it has the same relationship.
It is centered over the windows.
I don't know if you can get a center door with
You got
that
a
pipe,
little-
that vent or something.
Yeah,
I
there's
don't,
something there,
Oh,
like a
that's,
little round.
protruding out of the wall.
That looks like an alarm bell. So yeah, okay, so that's,
Yeah.
so, well then if it's centered on the windows,
And I
then
think that's fine.
I would just
It's
lower
just
it.
like a little bit of a different height.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
not a problem.
And then, what is that? What is that? What's that?
That is probably a remnant from another tenant.
Do you think you could take that off?
I probably could.
I think that would look better.
Is that blue strip?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a,
It's almost like an old flashing or
Well,
something.
you know what that was? That was the post office staging area.
or like your logo,
Yeah.
so you could do t-shirts and it's really cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll bring a
looks
hat
good.
next time.
And then the only other thing I would say, which is, I'm way out of my bounds here, but when I went to look at the other space we were looking, this side of the building, I feel like we should paint that. You know, this side, not, I'm out of bounds, I know I am, this has nothing to do with this, but just as a, you know, on that side, the opposite side of this.
Oh, the
that
side
side?
facing the.
Yeah.
I can suggest that to the landlord.
Yeah, could you? Because I think that just looks junky. You know what I mean? It's like, just looks like it needs to be repainted.
I could see that. Mm-hmm.
I think. And it doesn't seem like it would be that much money to do that.
What are you talking about?
She's
it's
wanting him to paint the building.
On the east, the east,
Side
to
or the
paint
north
the
side or
building.
both?
the east side of the building,
Okay.
It just,
which you would see as you were coming
Right.
west on Washington to turn north
Yeah.
on 41.
Yeah.
That's just kind of a CMU.
It's just block.
It's just block, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just kind of. I mean, I would agree. I think I mean, there was another sign up there from the guy next door, and
as the
that's
gateway
down.
to Lake Bluff, I
You
feel
can
like
ask.
you really have this responsibility to like really spiff this up a bit.
You
So
can
that's-
get-
those are my,
The parking lot,
yeah, seal coat the parking lot. Yeah, that's another thing, but.
You can get Benjamin Moore to just donate to write down the,
Oh, you should.
building
actually.
next door.
You could say, hey, we're the gateway to Lake Bluff. Do you want to donate some paint for this? No?
Yeah, we can certainly certainly consider those two things.
So those are my comments. I
Well,
really
we
do.
also got the fence.
yeah.
Oh, the fence.
That's the
Oh, yeah,
dumpster
I didn't
fence.
have I didn't have an opinion on the fence, but I think it's a good idea. to, like-
The fence is kind of ubiquitous. It's
But I applaud your shielding garbage as the gateway. So that's all I got, but I really do like your logo.
okay. Well, thanks.
Scott?
I have nothing to add.
Really?
It's covered. Yeah.
Besides Sue trying to get work for her paint company, I'm good with, no, everything looks good.
Okay, great. So
I do, if we can move the sign, that's lovely.
Just to, and
Yeah,
if you
so
can,
what we're saying is that the sign on the south side of the building, the
Yeah,
short
just-
side,
just to
will
align
lower
it,
to
yeah.
match the one on the
yeah,
west side.
just, if you can.
Great. And then we'll put the fence up and good to go.
Art, any
No,
thoughts?
I'm sorry, on the south side of the building, you'd be raising
That's the
this.
south side.
However, the condition is on the west side of the building,
Yeah,
No, it's
we'll
not.
mimic that on the.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Whatever that
Yeah.
is.
You're gonna go,
Not
I
that
have
much.
no, I have no issue whatsoever with either the sign.
Yeah, it's just like a few,
It's like 9 inches.
yeah, it's just
So
kind
this
of,
is gonna move up.
Yeah,
yeah, just a little bit.
yeah. It's 11.3.
okay, we done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we want to make a motion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sue wants to make a motion.
Sue, why don't you, since you're the tough one?
I move that we approve the Gateway to Lake Bluff, awesome graphic design sign. We approve it, except for we take down that one old strip that's up there from the old sign, and then we just align the two signs that exist, however you want.
Align the south to the west side.
Yeah, align the south to the west.
Great.
And the dumpster fence?
I think
And-
that's fine.
Okay.
Oh,
And approve that.
and approve that, and approve the fence dumpster.
Great.
That's a motion?
Second.
That's a motion. That is a motion.
I don't know how to make a motion.
Do we have a second?
Scott, second that. He wanted to be party to that motion.
Yeah. that's beautiful. Feel free to rephrase that motion.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so-
Mike always makes us look good.
So
Yeah,
basic, all right, so we're approving the sign,
Yeah.
making them equal height off the ground, and the dumpster fence is okay?
yep,
That's it?
yep,
All right, roll call.
Okay. Member Wicks,
aye.
Member Stradiff,
Aye.
Member Kerouac.
Aye.
Member Cottrell,
Aye.
and Chair Hunter.
All right,
Okay, motion passes.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, David.
You too.
Yep.
so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's,
Next then is the design review for cellular antennas, which we're all dying to know everything about. Is anybody here from that?
Yes, Christina Wilburn is on the Zoom from Crown Castle. And Christina, I just made you a panelist so you can speak and/or share your screen if you want to, or I can share the drawings up too, but I think everyone has the paper copy
Yeah.
in front of them too. So go ahead and tell us about your project.
She there?
oh, she's muted.
Oh, okay. So Christine Wilburn, we are on the antennas for Dish Network. Would you like to tell us about your project?
You're muted.
Yep. Yeah, you're muted, so we can't hear you.
She stepped away from the desk.
Yeah, she could have stepped away from her computer.
She probably was like, okay, I can't deal with this woman telling me
I found it.
Okay.
I'm telling you all about antennas and all the things. This wireless wants to add antennas to existing cell tower at 45 East Center Avenue, which is familiar, I think, for you guys. And they want to add 3 proposed antennas, 1 platform mount, 6 radios, voltage protection, and a hybrid cable. They're going to add a concrete pad and a cabinet, an equipment cabinet. This will all be at 84 feet, and the antennas are 6 feet, and they're adding 1 to each sector. Do you have any questions for me?
Art? Any questions?
No, I don't. I mean, it all seems pretty straightforward. There's already a ton of antennas on there. You're adding 1 more. And everything's gonna be concealed behind walls, at least as I understand the project.
Yeah.
Yes, everything's going to be concealed and painted to match.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no issues.
I have no issues.
I don't have any either.
I just have one question, and that's all the cabling that's, is going up inside the tower, not on the outside?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I think that's all the questions we got, which is none.
Yeah. I move to approve as submitted.
Second.
Roll call.
Okay. Member Cottrell,
Aye.
Member Kerouac,
Aye.
Member Stradiff,
Aye.
and Member Wicks,
Aye.
and Chair Hunter.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. It's approved.
Thank you.
Okay, thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Okay, last but not least, sign permit for van repair experts at 421 West Washington. That must be you.
Come on up and tell us about it.
So we just moved to this space. We just received our special use permit, and as normal thing in doing business is putting up the sign and letting people know that we're here. So that's why I'm here, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay. Sue?
Okay, I did have a couple, and it's kind of similar to the last one I was after, which is just 1 or 2. So is this, I see that there's this long, is it a fluorescent?
That's the light, yeah, that's a light
Okay.
fixture.
And does that light fixture work?
It will be fixed once it doesn't currently work. It will be fixed once the sign is up and it will be operational.
Okay, and so because, here's my question. On the building itself, at the other end of the building, the sign that is there is the Benjamin Moore
Yeah.
folks. So obviously, being me, I would love it if your sign matched their sign and was in the same sort of corner and location, so you had this frontage in the gateway to Lake Bluff, with one sign up in this corner and one sign up in this corner that were similar size or exact same size and both lit the same way. However, I don't know. My question is, how do we feel about this fluorescent lighting situation? And it's vast, I mean, the way that this sign is very different from the other one. Is everyone okay with that? Are we okay with this fluorescent light? Is it just because it's just there, so we're like, are we just accepting it, or do you like it?
That's basically was the plan, because it's there. That was an idea to reuse it since it's already there, and yeah, we just didn't want to kind of change what is basically pre-existing to us being the tenants, because I mean we were trying to be as least kind of invasive as possible.
Okay.
And
which is completely understandable. So then my next question is, have you or should you light it, turn on the light to make sure that you have, if we're okay with you reusing that, maybe we should turn it on to see where it's hitting and where it's, in order to place that sign? Do you know what I mean? 'Cause
so technically, the lights are adjustable. They have little strips on them that can kind of direct the light. So it's more or less adjustable. When we have light operational, we can adjust it for, I mean, it makes sense for us to light the fixture, like light the sign up, not the wall.
Right,
So
so I was wondering.
that's basically, it will be one of the points that we will have to kind of figure out once we have sign, because technically these lights are more or less adjustable, so we can spin them and have them kind of point at the right direction.
Okay, because there's a couple things, because one of them, it looks honestly a little bit like it was a leftover from another thing, and it's much longer than the sign that you have, and it looks maybe a little far away from it, and will it really light it? I don't know. I guess the other question is, would it be better to move it down a little, and maybe put the sign above it and uplight it so it could look more like the other one on the other side of the building, or?
What we could, so it's, the existing light is kind of extended from the wall. What we could do, we could put it like up on the wall, the light fixture itself, and be directly over the sign, so it goes down and lights it up completely.
Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's just tricky. Here's the building. And you see let's see if this is.
How large is the
See, this is the
adjacent tenant?
This is the building, and
It's-
this is their
I
temporary
think
sign,
it's the
but
paint
that's
store.
the
Benjamin.
Benjamin Moore sign, and it's just in the
Right, I
corner,
don't
and
know.
it's just different. I mean, and at least on this one, the signs are sort of proportional, but it's got this, it's just different, you know what I mean? And maybe we're.
It's gonna be totally, I mean, with that,
Right,
because we would never allow that light now.
right, and do
But-
we want to, is it?
Well, I don't think we
it's
can
a
make
little-
them, we can't make them take, I mean, this
No, I don't
grandfathered
think
in, right?
we cannot have.
Yeah.
If you demand things for the signage people to retrofit the building.
Right, yeah,
The sign goes back to Pro Drive, I think was the name of it, which was a body shop,
yeah,
many years ago.
yeah.
They were one of the first ones to occupy that space for many years, and now they've moved someplace else in that neighborhood.
Well, my question is,
And
I guess this is more of an overall question, but if someone has something sort of left over, like from a different tenant, are we obligated to keep that thing, or are we, I'm just asking this board, or can we say, well, we'd like you not to have this leftover thing, can you remove it?
Well,
And/or, do you know,
that's
what I'm
not his
asking.
choice.
Yeah.
That's the owner of the building's choice.
Yeah, all these are just tenants.
These guys are all tenants, so we can't go asking, just like painting the wall, that's a great idea,
Right.
but that may never happen because.
Right, and he'll go back and ask the landlord. So if we were like, hey, you have this fluorescent thing here left over from something. It's something that the landlord we'd have to ask the landlord to move? I guess I'm
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of confused.
The
Well, I
building
mean,
owner.
obviously, he could ask the landlord,
And
Right,
he could say no, I'm not
and
gonna
he
do
could
it.
say no, and
Right.
then what, you know?
Yeah,
and then he'd, all right, so we're saying once a landlord puts something up, it's up. And
yeah,
we're-
it gets
even if-
grandfathered in.
It's grandfathered in. So
Yeah.
like, somebody could put up something that's either, unless it's dangerous or something, but like, that's what we're saying, right?
Yeah, we can't make someone take something off a building that's already on there.
Okay. Okay, well, that answered that
Yeah,
question.
go ahead.
No, it's a great question, but yeah.
But I was like, because I don't know about that.
Because I'm on the other side of those arguments sometimes, so.
Yeah. All right, so then I think, now that I understand, so I guess my only point would be then, to make sure that you're positioning it so that it actually lights it. And maybe, I don't know, maybe you want to move it up towards it, or it doesn't look like there's enough space to put it,
Yeah, and he doesn't have any dimensions to it anyway, so
yeah.
we don't know where it's going exactly.
Well, it looks like it's centered between the light and the head of the windows.
Yeah, but-
That's supposed to be an idea. I'm not the one who submitted the
Yeah.
paperwork. It was the company
Yeah.
who made
Yeah.
the sign
Yeah.
and supposed to install it. However, it is supposedly will be either centered between the light fixture and a header of the window.
Yeah.
Or will be so it is lit up properly by the light fixture and
Okay.
is kind of symmetric to
Yeah.
what we have there.
Okay,
Because I think that's the more important. You wouldn't want the light cutting it halfway through.
right,
Yep,
or just
right.
lighting up the brick above
Right,
it.
yeah.
I guess, I don't know how then we say that. I mean, I guess my only point then would be, I guess, maybe fix the lights, see where they shine, and then I think it would look better if it was a little closer to that light thing, maybe, personally. You know?
Yeah, I don't-
It's kind of far away from it, sort of. I don't know. I guess I don't know what to say about it, other than that. Anybody else? Anybody?
Does it currently light up, that fixture, or is it?
Well, it's broken now.
broken now.
But they're gonna, apparently the landlord's gonna fix
Yeah.
it. The landlord's gonna fix it.
Okay.
That landlord has a lot to do.
That's all I got. I'm not asking the landlord to paint anything, so.
Yeah, I mean, you technically did. We have the same landlord, so.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, all
I was
right.
like, okay,
Okay.
he's gonna be happy.
Yeah,
He's gonna love me.
Yeah.
Well, he can just say no, but remind him that he is the gateway to Lake Bluff.
He'll be surprised that both of us tell him that.
Yeah, yeah.
This is actually the exit ramp to Lake Bluff.
I was gonna say it's more the rear exit.
You can come in that way.
I try not to send
Yeah.
people
Oh, yeah,
that
you
way.
can come in
You
that
can
way.
come
yeah,
in
you
that
take
way,
that
that's
back.
the
I take that
entrance,
back.
but no one goes that way.
That's right.
because,
That's true.
you know, This landlord's not,
Our taxes are too high to come in that way,
Right.
is the way I look at it.
yeah, I guess that's my only comment, is just light up the light and make sure that the sign is lit.
All right.
That's all I got.
Scott,
Okay, that's
you got
it?
anything else?
Yeah,
My only comment would be that the sign itself
kind of,
seems kind of wordy and like hard to read. And I'm just wondering if you'd have a greater
So
impact.
that was kind of a thing that was done, not exactly by me.
Yeah.
And was not approved by me, but paid by me. So.
Oh, nice.
And the company that's supposed to put it up has already printed it, so they already have it ready. So that's kind of thing that we now are stuck with, kind of thing, because our designer that they design our signs and wraps for another company that I have, and they were like, yeah, it probably should be the same idea. It has to have some kind of information and all that sort of stuff. And that's the idea and kind of set of mind that they had while designing it. And I didn't specifically tell them to kind of make it as minimal as possible and to make it as easy to read as possible. And when I saw it, it was already completed and printed out, and I was like, it is what it is.
So the sign is done. It's already made. And
From what I know, yeah.
okay. So,
It's been done for the last 2 months, and we were working on the special use permit and then all other stuff. So we just got to it, and we're here.
okay. Yeah. I mean, it seems like you'd have a greater impact if maybe you just remove some of the words and
I'll
just
see
had-
if
just
if
had
it is
your
not
name of
printed, then I'll definitely work on that and make it bigger and easier to read
Yeah.
from far. And if it is possible, I'll be more than happy to do that, just because
simpler. Yeah.
simpler. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
However, if it is printed,
Yeah.
not much I can do at this point, unfortunately.
Okay.
You know, the big parts are there, van repair,
It's already
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
that's what you need to see.
I don't know. I can't read it.
I know, yeah.
No, I'm
yeah.
joking.
No, but it's, well, I had the same comments as, I would actually say the sign either needs to be bigger, but it's a moot point if we can't do anything about it. And we're not here to always design your signs, but
Yeah.
it is like a nice business card, but a bad big sign is the way I would look at that, but here we are. So, either way, I'm sure you'll be fine, but it's, so I'm okay.
Art?
Yeah, everybody's covered everything that I had to say.
Plus.
Let you start
I'm
next
not
time.
gonna start repeating.
Yeah,
Okay, here we go again, another motion.
so I move to approve as submitted. I would like to designate somehow how we're locating the sign, though.
Yeah.
Is that based on just site conditions of the lighting? I mean, there's really no
You know,
structure to that,
again,
is there?
just visually, it looks to me like it's halfway between
Yeah,
the window head and the light strip.
yeah, I
And the
just
light
don't know how
strip is
that.
Way out.
Yeah, I just don't know how that light, and the light strip may be perfect. I mean, so if we could, let me say this. Center it between the light strip and the head of the window. And if there's an adjustment needed, would he just notify you just so we can make sure it's
Yeah,
not?
that's fine.
Okay,
Then horizontally, it's centered on the light strip
yeah,
itself.
yeah, which is centered on light strip, yeah.
Second.
Is that a motion?
That is a motion,
Okay.
sorry, of some type.
Did somebody second that?
Yep, Scott seconded.
Okay. Roll call.
Okay. Member Cottrell,
Aye.
Member Kerouac,
Aye.
Member Stradick,
Aye.
Member Wicks,
Aye.
and Chair Hunter.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
Okay.
It's
Good luck.
Thank you.
The
Thank you
space
very
that
much.
you're
Thank you.
in, was that the space that was gonna be occupied by the judo guy?
No, that's around the
All right, thank you.
corner.
Same building. Right?
Same,
Two guys behind him.
yeah, he's behind him. Yeah, there's,
Thank you.
it's an interesting, thanks. It's an interesting
right.
building.
Yeah.
What else you got?
So you wanted to talk about the sanitary district and their screen, right? I can,
Oh, yeah,
I'll get that
yeah.
up.
Okay, we got if you remember the toilet room that, the sanitary district was gonna put up there, and, we revised it, and they complied with that, except for a few things, which I went over with Mike, and he went over with them, and they were okay with most of it. But, in front of it, in front of the doors, I had a screen wall, and they were using a fence, and it was kind of a complicated thing and really not very nice. And so Matt and I had a conversation the other day, and he suggested maybe we use, give me the name,
Azak?
AZAC, wood grain looking and on a metal frame, and it's either spaced or not. And for you, Scott, I don't know where you are, or if you're anywhere on the yacht club, because this is going back to having something that would relate to possibly some massing on the yacht club. And I think, that maybe the face of that could be the same material.
Or vice versa, if there's something you
Or
have.
if you got something else going on. Or do you?
Are you talking about the fence around the yacht club?
No, I'm talking about you still have the two boxes, right? The box on the south end that is the safety boats or their
it's been revised and tweaked, and I'm just a pencil. I'm just told what to do and what to draw,
Yeah.
and I've got it coming from 10 different angles.
Yeah.
But I think we have a slightly different layout now, where the building is more central, and then there's 2 entry gates, and then we're pushing a little bit closer to the shelter, the beach shelter, and we're trying to hold it back as much as we can so that we preserve as much sand in the front as possible. So we've gone through 6 or 7 iterations, and I think we're finally at one that we all agree to. So
So you do have a mass,
we have a central mass.
yeah.
It's basically like a boat storage garage. What we've discussed is to try and kind of mimic the architecture of the shelter as much as possible, since they're so close to one another. But there's really no siding on the shelter. There's masonry on the shelter, so we're gonna have to come up with something for the siding. But you're not, are you proposing,
No, this is what they were proposing.
who's they?
They is the
The
Shore.
sanitary district for the screening at the restroom doors, for a visual screen at the restroom doors, they had proposed this.
and it's,
So there is the entire perimeter then, that's gonna be the enclosure of the yacht club, which is, we've just discussed a fence at this point, and we haven't gotten.
yeah, well, that's gonna be very pricey, if you were gonna close it with something like that.
It would be what?
That'd be most of your budget.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, should we not
But
wait, but see what they're, like, because I do think, I mean, it's gonna feel like one. Is that the idea? Like, that whole elevation all the way across is supposed to feel as one aesthetic somewhat, or?
That'd be hard to pull off. I mean,
So you're
There's the
actually
two buildings
gonna
up there.
put a roof, like the shelter up there.
we're gonna put a roof over the boats and over there's an enclosed garage for the Kodiak boats and the sail
Right.
storage.
Is there a second floor with like a lookout?
The
Oh,
second
that-
floor's gone.
That went
That's-
away.
That's long gone, right?
Okay, yeah, of those fun things.
That's a cool idea, though. Maybe I'll propose that.
We had we had a whole thing with the big sail thing.
Oh, yeah.
It was cool.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, we didn't have a budget.
But what we've talked about for the fence is, possibly doing something that's powder coated so it lasts. Like a little more of a traditional lattice fence where maybe, the yacht club members like the idea of something growing on it, like the old yacht club, which was basically
Those
just
were weeds and,
just the weeds and bushes around it. And then people are saying, well, you can't get anything to grow in the sand, and so, everyone's questioning whether we could actually get a vine or something to grow up around this thing, which is what most people.
probably should talk to Tesca. Get, what's his name, Nick? Just ask him the question, what can we do without sending me $1,000 bill?
Yeah.
We have fake wisteria that's making its rounds.
Yeah. They like some purple stuff.
Tie it together.
Tie it all together.
So it sounds like so the boat storage, I mean, the Zodiac storage is gonna open right onto the beach, so
Right
they're
on the
gonna pull
beach,
right
yeah.
out, so you're gonna have
They may,
doors.
are gonna winch up the boats or something like that. But yeah, those doors are gonna face the beach, so.
So what are those doors gonna be?
Don't know yet. We're still finalizing the layout.
Okay,
But, my sense is there's a great deal of tension with budget, and who's paying for what, and where's it coming from, and so, a lot of us want to design it as nice as possible, but I think the budget is gonna come into play once, we'd like to have a very nice, like carriage style looking door.
Like a garage door, or does it need to be a swinging door?
I think it needs to be an overhead door.
Yeah, just a nice clopay overhead door
Yeah.
or something.
But it could be 2 separate doors, because I think it's 2 separate boats that
Yeah,
roll out.
I see, yeah.
Yeah. So that's where we're at now. I
Okay.
think we have a meeting coming up this Friday.
Well, didn't the North Shore Sanitary District have something in their budget to
Well-
reimburse the yacht club for?
well, they had, I think it was 2009 budget, and to rebuild it exactly as it was.
Right, but what was that number, I wonder?
It was about half what it probably is gonna take.
Less than that, yeah.
2009.
Well, a part of the original boat storage was built in, I can't remember whose backyard it was,
Oh, yeah.
and carried down to the beach.
A big DIY project, wasn't it? The
Yeah,
whole thing?
oh, the
Yeah,
whole
the
thing
whole
was
thing,
always
Yes,
a
yeah.
do it
I mean,
yourself,
someone
right?
did the racking, right? I mean, it was
Yeah, the
just
original part was up when I moved here,
Yeah.
because I had a sunfish down there, and so it was probably 10 years old then.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Yeah, I
so,
mean, what we have designed so far is very simple. I mean, we're using that Unistrut system for the boat storage.
Okay.
And then we're coming up with we're proposing an enclosure around the Unistrut system that would, you know, probably be made of like a cedar post and a cedar header and rafters that hold up a roof. I mean, you have to have a roof over these, I think. So that kind of dresses it up a little bit. I guess the other option is Unistrut actually has a roof that they can sell with the system, but
it's just a tin roof.
just a tin
But
roof.
you don't
and
need,
it
I mean,
seems
what
kind
was
of,
up there was, 9 layers of asphalt roofing, and
Yeah,
you don't need that.
you don't need what?
Oh, like plywood and then roofing on top of that.
You
I
don't
don't
need,
think
you don't
it
need
could-
that.
I think you could just do with metal.
just like a corrugated.
Yeah,
You should,
corrugated.
you should come to the meetings. There's opinions from every direction.
Yeah. What's one more?
I can only imagine.
I started it, so.
Yeah,
Anyway, okay, so, well, all right, then, I think we got the changes that need to be made, right? They
Right.
agreed to that.
Yeah.
This other thing is almost a freestanding wall. And so if you just tell him, hang on, you can build a whole building, but you're not done with the screen wall yet, because I don't want to do that.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that's obviously the sanitary district wanted to give their contractor a final contract for everything and have them start, after Labor Day. I mean, as much as I understand, do the screen wall later, they wanted them to, sign off on a final quote for, what they're doing to finish the project in the next couple months. September and October, they're planning to finish the project, I believe. I don't know exactly their timing of the finish, but.
Okay, well, then the other thing is, I'll draw something up,
Okay.
unless you want to do it or you want to do it.
Yeah, he seems very bored.
I mean,
What would be the
Where is this-
latest
where is
date
this?
that we could, because it would be nice to, because you don't want to do this thing and then right next door they have, if there's a way to integrate something, I think that might be nice, but I don't know if
do you
that's
have
even.
a plan of where this is going? Or like, what does this look like? from
Yeah,
an aerial view?
here, I've got on paper the
It's
elevation.
kind of a very small thing compared, it's right next to
It just hides the entry doors to the bathrooms?
Yeah,
the screen walls, yeah.
Yeah,
It's like 10 feet long?
yeah,
It's
so,
two walls that are basically.
so these
there's-
these are the doors, and then
Okay.
this is basically, the screening in front of those doors. There.
And then the yacht club is here? Oh, yeah, it's right next to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, right.
This is
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
showed
there's
them.
a setback for the trash, and then,
And this is the screening here, yeah.
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Yeah, so this fence is gonna be like 17 feet away from that, yeah, so it will be, it would make sense to kind of.
if we could do
Make them
something,
relate.
yeah,
Well,
even
that's
if,
what we said,
yeah,
well, a year and a half ago or whenever it was, when
Right.
we had everybody in here.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I can still do that screen wall, and the only thing is then we just don't pick a color yet.
Yeah,
Because all it is it just wraps the corner.
Right,
It's-
yeah.
It's 6 feet tall.
yeah,
They had 4x4 steel posts. I'll keep that
Yeah.
with enough foundation to carry another 4.
right,
Uh,
good, yeah,
And then, so I'll give you a detail of that thing.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, because you haven't really come up with any kind of a fence that'll surround the yacht club compound.
Well, we discussed like a lattice
Right.
appearance,
'Cause I mean,
but
this would be,
something that would last.
that
like
would be
maybe
the
something
ideal
powder
thing
coated or
to
something.
put in front of the restroom, it would seem to me, to kind of bring things together.
Right, that's what we're saying, like if we could, if it makes sense.
So I guess,
You know what, there was at one point, when I was thinking about the fence, when I was fiddling with the unistrut stuff, and the unistruts were gonna be like every 5 feet. And I thought, okay, you're gonna put diagonals at the backside. And the diagonals then form the basis for a fence
Yeah.
all the way on the two sides, or however, you're still racking them.
Yeah, but you
Face,
need
both are
3
facing
feet
east to
beyond
west,
the
or
unistrut.
north to south, I mean.
You need 3 feet beyond the unistrut for the boats.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
but where the unistrut comes over and picks up we don't need to discuss this right now on TV,
Yeah.
but I'll talk to you later.
Okay, all right.
Anyway, it forms an X shape every 5 feet that braces the unistrut laterally on the back, if the roof comes all the way to the end of it. So, that was a thought. And then you do something simple on the backside, but the predominant visual thing is this X bracing with any kind of viney stuff they want to put on top of it. All right,
You know, let me show you something I noticed on their catalog for this. There's I have a problem with this is hiding the wrong part of my screen that I'm trying to access here, unfortunately.
Yeah, up on,
And those slats are made of AZEK? Is that what you said?
that's what I have that at my house, and so he came over and we just looked at that, but they're very expensive. It's
Aren't they
$100.
like flexible?
So you'd have to have, there's only certain, like
Can only
3
go so-
feet, yeah,
yeah.
without it, because it's resin, so it actually bends.
Yeah.
Yeah, on my house, you
You
can
need
see
to
I
go.
have
no.
a free span over the window, and it's, it's like 4 feet, and it goes, when it's hot, it bends a little bit.
Just trying to
But
make
it's
that
very
work
expensive for,
for the
But if you want something that's not gonna rot, it's gonna be expensive, no matter
yeah,
what.
even
you-
that
no matter
verse,
what you
I've
choose.
done that Vista, the aluminum stuff.
Yeah.
That's crazy, that's.
They do have these options that are framed out. Unlike the one we were looking at that they chose down below doesn't have a frame. The ones that have a frame don't require a double post because the frame, connects on the other side. Just FYI. But it obviously it looks like it's a heavier look once you have it framed out in
It's
metal
too heavy and
like
it's not
that.
the right dimension.
Yeah.
Does it only come in that one span?
48 inches to 60 inches. So it does have some options.
What, you're 5'6", Bob?
I'm at 5'6", yeah, you could, that's just enough to cover the door if you're looking
Yeah.
straight at everything.
Yeah.
But do you need to cover in the perpendicular direction too, or just
I was just thinking you have to do that so that you've got
some
stability.
stability? But if that's a self-sustain, is that a self-sustaining?
Well, it probably is, it's enough,
Yeah, because it has a big bracket at the
4-inch.
bottom.
Yeah,
4-inch steel.
right.
How tall are these?
I think it's whatever you want to make them.
They were proposing 6 feet.
Cause they want a minimum of 7 feet for around the yacht club. Some are even wanting 8 feet, but that seems kinda
But-
high.
Something like that is hardly a security fence.
No, we're just talking about
Somebody could
screening.
climb-
Yeah,
Climb that, I mean,
I was thinking about, you don't want to build a ladder. So right up to it.
Right, yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the
we
one.
need some
The old
handrails.
yacht
Can we
club
get
had
some
razor
handrails?
wire at the top, or
Yeah.
that had razor wire or something.
Yeah, you can't do those in Chicago. The climbing rails.
Well, if our main concern about this one was the double post, does not having the side eliminate that concern and just do the front
Not
only?
really. I don't
No?
think so.
Okay.
You still have to have some sort of privacy around those doors.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to, it can be see-through like that, but it doesn't really want to be not there.
Yeah.
I would say the alternating looks better than the,
In that case, yeah. So that is their catalog. I'll look at that again. I didn't see that.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I'll send you a link
Just send
for
it
it.
to me, yeah.
Yeah, I'll send you a link for it.
Because I'd rather not spend half a day drawing stuff again.
Right.
who's gonna maintain that, restroom and stuff, the park district?
Yeah, the park district does, will do the cleaning of the restroom, that type of maintenance, yeah.
Just as in, you know, and just as they maintain the shelters and stuff like that.
Right, exactly, yep.
Is that building sprinklered?
It's not, they're gonna come for a exemption because they're under the retrofit mandate for January 1st, 2026.
Which building are we talking
The
about?
sanitary district's pump station, this building that we're talking about, including the.
Good luck telling them to sprinkle the building.
And I think the yacht club will probably be in front of us for a sprinkler exemption.
Yeah,
for
they
their
were
new enclosed
notified,
spaces.
yeah.
Yeah, right, yeah,
I think they're a little deer in the headlights right now, that whole thing, but.
yeah.
There's gonna have to be some.
Is there any is there sufficient water down there to install sprinkler systems?
I think I've seen water down
I think so. I'm not sure what size lines that SSD does. They
Like
do
every
have a
eight?
water line
Buckets?
going down
there. The sprinkler
to
things.
the sanitary districts.
But
They
you know,
know
I mean,
water
those-
service,
those
yeah.
Fire sprinklers use 2-3-inch water lines.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't imagine that something like that is down there.
I'm not sure what size they have. Probably not. No, I think you're right. It's not down there. It's probably just like 1.5 inch water service.
Probably
that-
just
to
throw
the
a hose in
building.
the lake.
Yeah, there's
what I'm saying.
a lake that they.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Could
Right,
you
just
just
dip
like-
a fire pump into that, yeah.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But, it's, yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
All right, anything else?
I move to adjourn.
Oh, I know what.
Oh, I don't move to adjourn.
Is anybody, the bridge is open.
Oh, we keep driving our bikes by there looking and it never looks open, so it's
It's
still
open.
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it looked good. I saw the photo. It
Done
looks
and-
nice.
Does it look good?
Yeah, they did a great
It
job.
does, yeah, I've been over there. It does
Oh, I
look
can't wait to see it.
Good job, whoever.
Yeah, I think the outriggers look really nice
Yeah.
on it.
So phony. But they don't look phony unless you're underneath it.
No, they don't, yeah, but they really don't look funny. I was afraid they might, but they don't. Yeah.
So, anyway, that's almost done. I don't know if they're gonna have a grand opening of it or not, but
They already did the grand opening, and now they have to finish the details on the landscaping and
who
stuff.
did the grand opening?
I don't know, they did some grand opening last Friday or something, I think, didn't they?
No,
No?
I didn't.
they just
thought
took,
they did.
they
Maybe
just
they
took the
didn't.
barricades off.
Oh, maybe they just announced it's open to the public.
Then they
Yeah,
opened,
maybe
they
you're right.
said it's
Maybe we still
open
do need
because
the ceremony.
the day of
No
the,
ribbon cutting or anything?
no, the day of the
Bridge is open.
ribbon, the bike race is when they opened it up.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they didn't do any grand opening ceremony yet. Okay.
Okay, go ahead with your,
I move to adjourn.
Second.
all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
You want this?
Nope, go ahead.
Sure.
I'm positive.
I got
It
lots
is
of them.
beautiful. Does it say Scotts Grader?